Like many of you, I have been watching the dire humanitarian crisis in Afghanistan unfold. The images that we are seeing and the stories that we are hearing are terrifying and heartbreaking, and every Canadian should have compassion for what is happening in that part of the world. And this is why I feel compelled to share with you some stories that have come to my attention out of my community. In the last several days, I have had many constituents as well as an NGO reach out to me with dire concerns about family members and others, NGO workers, interpreters, etc., who are currently stranded in Afghanistan. The federal Liberal government has known that this situation would likely occur, the deteriorating situation in Afghanistan, for many months, and have had a lot of time to put in place plans to address what has now happened. And I want to tell you what has happened so you can share this video with people and understand just exactly how bad it is and the action that's needed. So on Friday, so this is about 48 hours before a federal election, so obviously the Liberals knew that they were going to call an election, the federal Liberals announced a program to bring 20,000 Afghanis to Canada. They announced this with no details, and the practical reality of this meant that many people went to the airport in Kabul, and which is now obviously subject to threats from the Taliban. They can't leave because there are Taliban checkpoints in the area, and there are many people who this program, we don't know if it would have applied to them, are now stranded in regions under Taliban control. I encourage you to go and read about what this situation means, particularly for women and girls in the area. This is a humanitarian crisis, and if you have compassion in your hearts, I encourage you to read about this because it's something we should be concerned about. Now, I just released a statement, and I am calling upon the Liberal government to take action. Even though Justin Trudeau has called an election, he still has fiduciary responsibility to address this situation. And I think it is unconscionable, it is unbelievable that he called a federal election having made this announcement on Friday with no details. This has meant that my constituents have been left stranded, their family members have been left stranded, and they're panicking. And I'm trying to help them as best they can in the middle of this election. Today, just recently, my colleague Alex Ruff, who is a veteran himself, we released this statement, which I will read to you. I've just released it to the national media. Conservatives have been contacted by constituents across the country, Afghan veterans, and at least one NGO with family members and staff in Afghanistan attempting to flee the country. Despite repeated attempts to communicate with the Liberal government on what's been done to save the lives of these individuals, they have yet to respond. The lives of these Afghans are in danger and they need immediate response. The Liberal announcement on Friday that they would bring 20,000 Afghans to Canada was misleading. There were reports within hours of this announcement that the embassy had shut down all communications. The fact that they made this announcement without telling Canadians or Afghans how they would follow through on this promise while the Taliban were on the doorstep of the capital of Afghanistan is shameful. Today, while constituency offices are attempting to contact the Immigration and Global Affairs Minister's staff, they have failed to respond. This is the consequence of Justin Trudeau calling an election while Afghanistan is in the process of being taken over by the Taliban. Lives are at stake. Anything less than a full government response from Justin Trudeau and the Liberals is unacceptable and may cost lives. We must do better for the Afghans we made promises to. I have to say this. This is the emergent situation that Canada must deal with. The announcement that they made on Friday, that the Liberals made, and then knowing that they were going to an election after they had months to deal with this, is unconscionable. Like, think about that. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. There are going to be many conversations about the situation in Afghanistan for months and years to come, as there have been in the past. And today, taking my partisan and my political hat off, as a family member of someone who served in the region, there's a lot of mixed emotions. But the Liberals made a promise on Friday, knowing that they were going to call a federal election. And now when we're trying to get information out of their offices that they have a responsibility to run. We're getting out of office emails, likely because these staffers have been seconded to the campaign, and that's not good enough. There are lives at risk. There are people who are in dire situations. The reports that are coming out of there about people trying to grab onto the landing gear or the bottom of planes to get out of the airport, this should be lighting our country's hair on fire. And for the Prime Minister to come out on Sunday morning, as he was calling the election, and he started his speech lauding this program, to not have any details, and then we're hearing things like they're asking for passport applications in the middle of a war zone. That's unconscionable. So everything else aside, the Liberals need to figure this out now on behalf of my constituents and people across the country that are worried beyond belief. I have watched situations like this unfold. I just went to a commemoration of the Yazidi genocide. When these situations unfold in these areas and they're volatile, and we know that there's an extreme risk of death and of safety to persons, and we've made a promise, then we better act on it. I'm speechless. I cannot believe that I have not had my calls returned from anybody in the Immigration Minister's office or Global Affairs. And if somebody is watching this video from those departments right now, shame on you. Shame on you for not responding to my emails. Shame on you for not addressing the concerns of these people after you made out a big political announcement of this on Friday. I expect answers, and I will get answers on behalf of my constituents. And for everybody who's watching this, share this video. Share this video because people deserve better. Working hard for you in Calgary. Have a great day.